Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Kim Miller begins now.
Tasmanians fighting to secure a rental property will soon be able to access the crucial money they need for bond payments. The no-interest loan scheme is behind the move, aiming to bring down barriers into securing housing as living pressures continue to bite.
Surrounded by warnings to brace for another economic hit, Emma Caspers feels grateful to have a place to call home.
The scariest thing is just keeping your house and having a house to go to when you move out of your previous residence.
She's among Tasmanians navigating the turbulent time with help from the no-interest loan scheme.
This is the first time in my life I've owned not one but 2 brand new white goods, and it makes me feel proud and it makes me feel like I'm, winning at adulting. And
the community lending service is now digging deeper into its pockets, offering up to $3,000 for bonds or rent needed in advance.
In the last 12 months we've done loans for registration for people that are living in their cars. So if these new loans can assist some people to get into housing and to transition out of that situation, that would be fabulous.
Rent's probably about average $450 a week in Hobart, and you have to quadruple that 4 times. Often that really stops people being able to access housing.
An interest rate rise is also expected to further squeeze households.
I'm working with peak organisations and community organisations every day on the issue of cost of living.
When you combine skyrocketing rental prices with a social housing shortfall, the pressure on the system can seem insurmountable, with experts concerned government investment is still falling short.
Tasmania is no longer the cheap place to come and live and to rent, and I think governments really need to think about that.
The loan program launches on Monday. Grace Evans, 7 Tasmania News.
A pedestrian has been taken to the Launceston General Hospital after being hit by a vehicle at Mowbray. Police and emergency services were called to the scene on Georgetown Road around 3:30 this afternoon. The road was closed between the Allen Vale roundabout and Parklands Parade while emergency services attended. Tasmania's Veteran Affairs Minister says it's sad some armed forces veterans have to leave the state to access mental health support. Guy Barnett, one of the first to give evidence as the Royal Commission into Defence and Veterans Suicides, began a block of hearings in Hobart.
Shining a light on one of Australia's great black spots, the national investigation into defence and veteran suicides making its stop in Tasmania, to hear the stories from locals who served.
Most of them are really keen to see how a Royal Commission works. I think a lot of people don't understand it until they actually get in there and they hear the line of questioning.
Our state's decentralised population and the impact on accessing support services highlighted.
About half of Tasmania veterans live in the north and northwest of Tasmania. There are fewer support services in those areas.
Our state's Veterans Affairs Minister says many face a struggle once they leave the uniform.
Transitioning back into the community is hugely challenging for our veteran community, and then of course there are other challenges about just building sustainable lifestyle.
Accessing mental health support also a challenge. Minister Barnett telling the Commission some have been forced to leave the state for treatment, a situation he believes needs action.
I think there's a very strong argument that we can do a lot better in Tasmania when it comes to provision of these services for our veterans.
Also expressing frustration the country's Veterans Affairs ministers no longer meet.
I will certainly be recommending that to Minister Keogh, that we have meetings with our colleagues from other states and territories.
The Commission will sit in Hobart for the next 7 days, with recruitment and life after service among the issues to be examined. The RSL hopes the hearings will be an opportunity for both listening and learning.
At the end of the day, we're here to save lives, and whatever that takes is the best foot forward.
Tasmanian Senator Jackie Lambie, who called for the inquiry, is expected to appear later this week. John Hunt, 7 Tasmania News.
And if this story has caused you distress, you can contact Lifeline on 13 11 14. A man in his 80s has died with COVID in the state's north, taking the death toll to 142. Tasmania recorded 944 new cases overnight, a jump on yesterday's figures with 5,676 active cases. 38 people are in hospital being treated specifically for COVID. 9 patients are currently in ICU. Oatlands is hoping to become the next big tourist destination with a new boutique hotel earmarked for the historic town. The investment is designed to inflate visitor expenditure and support local events.
Breathing life into a town full of history and tradition. This quaint village is home to a number of festivities, but locals want its potential to grow even further.
We don't want to see country towns die. We want to see country towns prosper.
For that reason, they're welcoming grand plans from Tasmanian hospitality company THN to kickstart their holiday maker market.
A 43-room boutique hotel, such as the one we propose, will really fire up the visitor economy in this town.
The plan is to create a space that complements Oatlands' heritage framework.
Could accommodate the bus loads and bring in the short-term conference markets.
The development follows Council's investment in a new whisky distillery and aquatic centre, which is already seeing the benefits of a tourist influx.
Parking in Oatlands has not been a problem for many, many years, and it is a frequent discussion that we now have around the council table.
Around 100,000 people pass through Oatlands each year, but with limited accommodation options, they aren't spending the night. The council hopes the hotel will see the town become more of a bustling tourist destination. Crossing their fingers for government contribution, more than $18,000 needs to be raised before receiving the green light, while public consultation on the design is already being sought. Brianna Boylan, 7 Tasmania News.
Farmers in northern Tasmania have come out in force against redevelopment of Longford's main street. They say the works would impede the tight turning circles of trucks, but the Northern Midlands Council says otherwise.
Showing their displeasure towards a proposal, these farmers in Longford protesting against planned streetscape works on Wellington Street, including protuberances at intersections.
We just wanted to come here and make ourselves known, as in the disappointment we've got with the council. I think they're going to ruin a perfectly good street.
They cite the tight turning circles of trucks and tractors, which is already difficult for drivers. Some using the other side of the road to successfully negotiate a turn.
Just too many things to watch, you have to slow right down, too much traffic behind you.
The main street is used to transport lambs, cattle and vegetables to markets. The Northern Midland Council says the road width won't be affected, along with the impact on use by heavy vehicles.
We're not here to cause trouble, we're here to just put our point across.
The matter will be discussed at the Council's next Bicycle Advisory Committee meeting. Mark Zita, 7 Tasmania News.
The search is on for Launceston's best residential yard to host the next Backyard Bands event. The Junction Arts Festival is looking for a property within 10 minutes of Launceston's CBD to host an intimate gig with a variety of local and interstate acts.
It's just always been such great fun. We thought this year, why not throw it out there into the broader community and ask the people of around Launceston if they want to have a band in their backyards.
Keen residents can apply on the Junction Arts Festival website. Internationally renowned artist Tony Smybert will be hosting a series of masterclasses for Northern Tasmanians to develop skills in painting with watercolour. He'll share techniques he's learned throughout his career to help jumpstart inspiration for budding artists.
One of the interesting things about watercolour is that you're working with a very liquid medium. It's effectively coloured mud settling in water.
The first workshop will be held next month and tickets can be purchased through the QV Mag website.
Among the Tasmanians, Ariane Titmus will try to break a 40-year-old record tonight in the 800 metres freestyle final, while lawn bowler Rebecca Van Ash is looking to overcome a slow start on England's slow greens. After being floored in the fours, a change of fortune is needed for lawn bowler Rebecca Van Ash when she tackles the women's triples from tonight.
They've got to go in confident. They just forget about their last few games and just go and back themselves.
Australia is in the same group as Singapore, South Africa, Northern Ireland and the Falkland Islands. They might sound like easy beats, but the Tassie Tridents coach warns not to underestimate them.
All of those countries, I think, play on very similar greens to what they'll be playing on now, where Australia are more used to the, the flatter, faster, better greens, if you like.
Also tonight, Ariane Titmus.
Continuing to carry all before her in her swimming career.
She's hoping to become the first Australian to go back-to-back in the 800 metres since Tracy Wickham at Edmonton 78.
A standing ovation for this little Australian kid.
And Brisbane 82. For our Tassie Kookaburras,
Ockenden calmly away. Belts.
They'll enjoy a well-earned rest after demolishing New Zealand 7-2, while Sam Fox is less than 48 hours away from his Commonwealth Games debut.
I think he's quietly confident, he's got everything to gain, his preparation has been outstanding.
Fox is accustomed to European conditions, having spent recent months riding in the Mountain Bike World Cup, but Birmingham is especially suited to his style.
It's not overly technical, it's not overly hot. He's kind of what we call a punchy rider. He's able to really put in very high efforts.
Which is what he'll need when he goes for the ultimate high. And we're 24 hours away from one of the state's biggest soccer matches in recent history. Wellington Phoenix has arrived at Valley Road, ready to take on the Devonport Strikers in the Australia Cup's round of 32. It's the first time a Tasmanian team has drawn an A-League side in the competition.
They've got some exciting players in their front third. So look, it's going to be a challenging game. They're 16 games into their season and we're at the start of our pre-season, so it's always going to be a challenge.
The Phoenix made it to the semi-final of last year's Australia Cup, while the Strikers forfeit their first round clash due to COVID. And all going to plan, Kim. We'll be up there presenting sport from Valley Road live tomorrow night, so it should be fantastic.
Good evening. Hobart and Launceston 15 degrees today, Burnie and Devonport 14. 15 was the maximum. That was also recorded at St Helens, Friendly Beaches and Bushy Park. Smithton Grove and the Islands all 14, Lowhead and Strawn 13 today. Areas of high cloud moved over the state ahead of the cold front that is just crossing right now as we speak. There it is moving over the west. Tropical moisture streams into a cloud band that stretches across the continent. A vigorous cold front follows to the south and west, so plenty of activity there. Tomorrow the complex low pressure area will move towards Tasmania. Another front and trough affects South and Western Australia. Looks very, very messy. Winds northerly at 20 to 30 knots, reaching 40 knots late morning, swells to 4 metres. Gale warning for all Tasmanian coastal waters has been issued, a strong wind warning for the inland lakes and Storm Bay. Minor flood warnings have been posted for the Macquarie, Meander, Mersey and North Esk, a flood watch for the north, northeast and northwest catchments, and a warning to sheep graziers for the northwest coast, central north, northeast and also the Midlands. Hobart tomorrow, a top of 16, a shower or two. Showers developing for Geefston, 15, 14 the top for Bothwell. Most of the rain in the north and west tomorrow, a windy day for Launceston, 14 the top. Rain for Devonport, 14 as well, 13 for Cressy. Burnie expecting 13 degrees. Rain for Strawn, 13, 15 the top for Curry on King Island. Very strong winds there. 15 for St Helens. Swansea a shower or two. Orford a shower or two, 15 as well. On Thursday, showers mainly over the north, west and central regions. A windy day on Friday. More showers, most likely over the north and west. A possible thunderstorm in the northeast. And on Saturday, the wet weather continues as most of the shower activity moves to the east and southeast. A windy, showery day in Perth and Adelaide tomorrow. Showers also in Melbourne and Canberra. 23 in Sydney and some cloud. Sunny and 24 in Brisbane. Plenty of cloud here too. Hobart 9 degrees at the moment, Launceston 11, Devonport 12 and Kim, with our water storages down to the 30% mark, I'm sure they're going to get a boost over the next couple of days.
Won't go astray, some wild weather coming. Thanks, Merv. And that is all your news for now. Stay with us though, the Birmingham Commonwealth Games is next. Thanks for joining us. Good night.